You are looking live at the Hartsville Nuclear Tower on its final sunrise as it's about to come down in about 12 minutes or a little less than that. Tennessee Valley Authority is imploding it today. And again, we are a little over 10 minutes away from it coming down. It stood for nearly half a century. It's certainly been a part of many people's lives over here, kind of accidentally as a landmark of sorts ever since the project was abandoned back in the early 80s. I'm here in Hiawassee community in Smith County. This is where I spent the first 5 years of my life, and then lived in Kenny's Bend another good portion of my life. So I've always been looking at this thing, and to see it come down is going to be very, very bizarre. But we are live right now. Looks like our hotspot is cooperating so far, so we do have a live feed of this. We may try to get drone of this as well. We'll see. But we'll go back to music here in just a second. Just wanted to, again, update y'all. We are about 10 minutes away from the nuclear tower coming down, so stay tuned. All right, folks, Anthony Taylor here live at the site of the Hartsville nuclear tower implosion. The 5-minute alarm just went off. We are 5 minutes away from the tower being imploded by the Tennessee Valley Authority. The tower that has stood for nearly half a century as part of an abandoned nuclear power plant project that was spurred in the late 70s. I believe it's been abandoned since the early 1980s. And today the tower comes down. So for anyone anywhere near this area who's been through here, I'm sure has seen the nuclear tower. It's kind of an accidental landmark. And again, it is coming down less than 5 minutes from now. So we just sent Drone Force 1 up. We're going to try to include that into the feed. We'll see if that works. I've got less than 5 minutes to figure that out, but we do have a fixed camera view. We have hotspot. It is working. If for whatever reason this does not work in time, we do have a recording of this going as well, so we can post that later. But we are just a few minutes away now, so stay tuned. All right, folks, Anthony Taylor here live with Upper Cumberland weather. We are just a little over a minute away from the Hartsville nuclear tower coming down, and we're just going to sit here and watch it together. Ran into a few difficulties trying to get Drone Force 1 to connect, so we'll be watching from this ground view, but I do have that recording though, so we may share that later. But again, pretty good view here from Hiawassee. We're on the Smith County side of the river, about to watch this thing come down, and we're just going to watch it together as we are live now. But the nuclear power plant was a canceled project by the Tennessee Valley Authority. In the 1960s, TVA began expecting a large increase in the electrical demand for the 1970s and 80s. This was part of 7 nuclear plants that were planned to combat this. And it was work started in the 70s, and the project was abandoned in the early 80s. I believe because demand was not quite what they were anticipating it to be. But we are less than a minute away. It is 6:29 and 25 seconds, so we are about 30 seconds away from history being made. As a piece of history comes down early this morning, Thursday, September 18th, 2025. What you're hearing is a buzzer sound indicating that we are just seconds away.
Hey, there's a bus.
It is now 6:30.
Hear the plane.
Well, we are nearly 30 seconds past when it was supposed to come down. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. And just like that, folks, in a puff of smoke and dust, the accidental landmark that was the Hartsville nuclear tower that never was nuclear is gone. And there it is. We'll stay with this live shot for a couple more minutes as we watch the cloud of debris. But that's it. That is it. I want to thank all of those who tuned in for this. Looks like we have more than 1,300 watching on Facebook. Not sure how many are watching on YouTube or X, but appreciate y'all tuning in and trusting us with this coverage. Wasn't sure we would get this stream out. Cell service here in Hiawassee, Smith County, is quite spotty, but we found one little bit of 5G, and it worked. So I believe this went through, and we just watched the implosion of a piece of history. I appreciate all of you tuning in. That's really all there is to see here. It took all of 8 seconds for that nuclear tower to come down, and it's gone. So once the dust settles, all you'll see is hillside over there on the other side of the river. No more will the nuclear tower be there. From Upper Cumberland Weather, I'm Anthony Taylor signing off. I appreciate you all tuning in. Nothing much more to see here, as a nuclear tower has been erased from the landscape and erased from history. Thanks for watching. For those watching the Upper Cumberland Weather Channel, we will soon be returning to regular programming. Thank you.